Internet! Welcome back to episode 2 of Couples Night. I am Kathleen.
And I'm Jeffrey Garcia.
Thank you for the 5 people who've watched the first episode of Couples Night. Much appreciate.
I was expecting 1.
I think it's true. But yeah, I figured we could start off this episode by just talking about pretty much what we've been playing the past couple of days since we've recorded the first episode. For me, I have picked up Walking Dead Season 4, Episode 1, and Ys 8. Those are the things I've picked up and started playing. I did pick up Shenmue 1 and 2. Only just a couple of minutes ago did I take it out of the wrapper. Haven't played it, though. But yeah, Walking Dead Season 4, Episode 1 started off pretty good. You know, compared to how, you know, the last couple of seasons have been.
No. Honestly, I stopped after maybe...
Yeah, you said 2 you stopped at last time.
I didn't really even play that one. I watched someone play that one.
I watched someone play.
Because I think something... After the first one, just something about the series, I felt like it was going to decline. And I was a little scared of that, so I didn't want to invest money into it. Because I liked the first one a lot. And I feel like everyone feels the same way about that. Because it was the one that's like, oh my god, like, Telltale is on the map now. Like, they need to keep making games like this.
Right.
And stuff like that. But over the years, the amount of licenses they got, the engine never changing, and slightly upgrading, it just became more... It started feeling like shovelware.
Yeah,
so
it's...
I get scared of investing, yo.
Yeah, after season 1 of Walking Dead, basically the people who made that game, or like the core people who made it, like left the company like after the first game.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah, no, they left. They left shortly after the first game came out. Reasons why, I don't know. I just know they left the company, and which also explains why season 2 is a little bit different, and so is season 3 and 4 and so on forth. Me personally, the only recent games after season 1 that Telltale has made that I really enjoyed was Tales of the Borderlands.
Yeah. I think it was was it Tales? I think it was Tales from the Borderlands.
Tales from the Borderlands, then. Yes, yeah, sorry.
That was the title.
Yeah.
I had played that one, and I had played a few of their games, but I had played that one, and I had played The Wolf Among Us.
Yeah, Wolf Among Us is really good. I like that too.
Those two, my favorites. But Tales from the Borderlands is especially my favorite.
Yeah, if you really like Borderlands, like...
You don't even need to like Borderlands.
Not even. I mean, if you do, check it out. If you don't, doesn't matter. Check it out. You really don't have to know too much from the other games.
Yeah, no. Think of it both ways. If you have no idea what Borderlands is, play as a standalone. And if you like that world and the jokes and whatnot, I recommend getting the Borderlands. Just know that the first game's tone is not like those games. Yeah. Borderlands 2 is when the tone comes in.
In all honesty, you really don't have to play Borderlands to kind of get into the series. If in all honesty, I recommend maybe just watching like a couple of clips from Borderlands and then just play 2.
Oh, yeah, but you know, that's up to whoever chooses to play it. But if you do choose to get it chronologically, Borderlands 1 won't have the flair as Tales from the Borderlands or even Borderlands 2. If anything, you can use 1 as a jumping point for the story beats of the second game, because they are integral in terms of like certain things that do happen if you're a person that likes that kind of stuff. I
remember when we first both got our PCs, we bought Borderlands because we were like, oh, we'll play it together, and then we started playing it, and especially me, because I played Borderlands. Yeah, besides that, I was like, wow, this game is not as fun as I remembered. From what I remember, it was like, you know, because we've probably replayed 2, like to a certain point, many times. Yeah. But, like, the thing with 2 is, it's like, it doesn't matter how many times I restart 2. I'm always like, 2 is a fun game.
Just the energy of the game.
Yeah, and the writing and everything.
I know Anthony Birch came into that one, right?
Yeah. He's a good writer. Odd fellow, but good writer. But, yeah, and then with Ys 8 was definitely something I didn't have much of an expectation to, but you kind of convinced me.
No, you convinced yourself.
I convinced myself, I guess.
I showed you reviews of 2 games you were looking to.
Yeah, I was in the mood to play something because I'd finished Walking Dead Season 4, Episode 1. So I was like, I kind of wanted to play something. And I guess I couldn't wait one day for Shenmue. So I was like, I want something now. So it was between Ys and Tales of Berseria.
And, you know, they're both good games. Yeah. But in terms of knowing my girlfriend here, I feel like Ys would have gravitated more to her, but I let a review do the talking.
Yeah.
Not me.
We watched like a review from like what was it, Gamer Joy?
No, Easy Allies.
Easy Allies, yeah. And basically from that conclusion of that, I kind of stuck with Ys just because from playing it, it's more than just like an RPG. I mean, it has like obviously the whole action of the action RPG, but there's like other things to do in the game, like recruiting the members, and there's fishing, and there's cooking, and there's like getting armor.
A lot of side attacks.
Yeah, like there's extra stuff, which is the one thing that I really like in RPGs, because it's just like, oh my god, I really don't want to just do story stuff right now. I kind of want to like go off and do my own thing. Yeah. Which I really like about Ys.
Yeah, because one, the game's fast by nature, so you're just constantly running around doing what you want, and all those little extra things, you can feel the sense of unity as you build up your base, basically. Yeah, it gives me a very big feeling of Suikoden, or I can't pronounce it correctly, but Suikoden was a game that you could recruit a bunch of characters and build it up. Yeah, and then I know Ni no Kuni 2 came out, and that was the only driving force I had with that game. Right. It was one of those sad games where at first it's really great, but as you keep playing it, it gets worse. Everything about it just falls very flat as a JRPG. That's sad. It's the truth though. But the new update added difficulties to make it a little bit better, but the problem is that the game balance isn't designed for you to dodge. Mm-hmm.
I feel like
you just get slapped.
That's like the thing with RPGs though. It's like the thing is, it's like, I guess like with some, you think mostly like the combat and the fighting would just be enough for those type of games, because a lot with RPGs, it's a lot of like thinking and strategizing and everything, but there's just something about when you're playing an RPG and it just gives you like something more than what you'd expect that I really like Kingdom Hearts 2, another like action RPG. I just love all the collectible stuff that they add in Final Mix, like between the puzzle pieces and just the treasure chest and fighting literally all the optional bosses. You know
what that sounded like to me?
What?
You'd really, really, really love Xenoblade. There's a bunch of stuff to do in that game.
Baby steps.
Baby steps.
Baby steps.
No, but if you do if you do like that stuff, it's not like the main story is not long. Mm-hmm. But if you're thinking like, how you said
doing everything else
that you want to do, that's a different story. You don't have to do everything, but there is a bunch in that game to offer you in terms of what you want. Right. You have one, you could explore the map. That thing is massive. Like you'd be lost doing that for hours on your own. But that's one thing. Right. Then you can do the quest. But there's a bunch of those too. Mm-hmm. There's this big mini game, I guess more of a big side quest where you're like, I can work on this for like 3-4 hours and maybe get something out of it. But
Yeah. No, but I'm really liking it. It's something that I've kind of just been like, on my couple of days off, I'll chill in bed and I'll just put on the TV and I'll just play it, and I'm okay with that.
She's thinking here like I tricked her into getting it just because it's made by Falcom. I'm like, nah, I didn't even do that. I was just like, look at these games and tell me which one you want.
I literally didn't realize it, because he didn't say that it was made by the same people who made Trials of the Cold Steel, which he's been trying to get me to play since he started it. So when I was looking at the character models, I was like, this is made by the same freaking people. I was like, he's trying to plant a seed somewhere.
I didn't do that. All I did was like, if you like this game, maybe you'll try those out in the future. I ain't gonna force you, but if you were like, I like this, maybe I'll give that a try.
Yeah, I'll give the other one a try. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm playing. I'm assuming when, I don't know if I'll play Shenmue right after Ys, because I don't know if I'm gonna finish this in time for Life is Strange, or like, I mean, I don't know. It depends how long this game is. I haven't checked to see the times.
It's a big boy.
Yeah. So, I mean, if Life is Strange comes out, I'll probably stop playing Ys and then do Life is Strange, just because it's one episode, and then I'll probably come back for when Life is Strange comes out. Or Walking Dead, because Walking Dead I think is coming out the second episode.
Every month up to January, you're getting an episode. Yeah. That's great for you, because Kingdom Hearts is slowly coming for you.
Yeah. But what about you?
I've been playing a game called Mary Skettler.
Yes, you were showing me a little bit of it.
Yeah, I was playing
today. Yeah, while I was playing Ys, you were playing Mary Skettler.
Before we get into that, I just wanted to do how long to beat.
A facts check.
A completionist run is 66.5 hours.
That's for Ys?
Yeah. Main story is 38 hours.
Okay.
Main and extra, if you're just like, you don't do everything, but you kind of just gloss everything.
Right.
50 hours.
All right.
That's pretty fair for an RPG.
I'll let you know how my journey goes.
Oh, yeah. But knowing you'll probably take your time.
Yeah, probably.
No, yeah. So,
that's kind of how I am.
So I started playing this game called Mary Skettler.
Yes.
It's available on Steam and on the Vita.
That good old vitamin.
Yeah, nah. I had heard about it in the Vita subreddit on Reddit, and I also heard about it in general because I had seen like some of the artwork. But at first I didn't know if I wanted to get it, but there was a big day one sale, so it was sold for $14.99 instead of a base price of $24.99. So I was like, you know what?
That's not bad.
Yeah, I was like, I need a game, and I've always wanted to get into dungeon crawlers, and I think the only game I had tried in that genre was Persona Q. While I did enjoy it, there were certain things I didn't like about it, but most of it was just a one-dimensional Persona characters. But I didn't want to base the gameplay system off that, so I got this game, Mary Skettler, and in getting it, I don't know. It's made by the Hyper Neptunia developers, and I know a lot of people are probably gonna be like, "Oh my god." But,
you waifu trash.
Nah, I don't play those games, and I wanted to get into them, but I had tried one, and I was like, nah, it's not for me. But I had tried this one specifically because I had seen pretty positive reviews on the Vita version, like around like an 80, 81. So I was like, you know what, let me give it a try. And I gotta say, it's a pretty addicting little game. Like, you got like the take-turn system, like of a normal RPG, and it's just, it flows so fast. You just enjoy running around, and the map fills itself as you're playing. The characters aren't like crazy bad. Like, you know, sometimes they'll say one or two things. It's like, why are you looking at me like that? You know, like just random.
Are you trying to persuade this girl with candy? That's a thing that happened today while he was playing.
It's anime cliches. You can't run from them. If you like anime or just the aesthetic itself,
and you can deal with the bullshit.
Yeah, but you want a serious story. You're never gonna fully get it. Like, let's be honest. It's just how it is. And so I've been really liking it because the world itself is actually trying to take itself seriously. And the general gist of what's going on is that they live in a world where this jail exists, and the jail itself is a sentient being that basically entraps people inside of it. And two of the main characters that are introduced, Alice and Jack, as you can see right there, they already have names of it's like nightmare fairy tales, and they escape. Those two escape by the help of Red Riding Hood. So they're just gonna keep adding more. As when they get out, they find out they can fight things and just general RPG stuff. And I don't know, I've been having a great time with it. 22 hours in at this point.
Damn.
Yeah, no, and I haven't really progressed crazily with the story because I'm just exploring the dungeon.
Right.
And I'm playing it on the hardest difficulty already. And the second chapter is completely unfair if you don't have a DLC item because you can't block the damage because the units you get at that point are absolutely weak.
So how much is a DLC item?
It was day one purchase.
Oh, so you can't get it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's available now, but if you do not have that item and you play it on horror, which is the highest difficulty, good luck to you. Because I had to reset a save file, beat a boss again, and then unequip the item to make sure I can keep it so I can use it on the other. It was so bad.
You can't do that later.
Yeah. Once you get out of that bump, though, because the great thing about this system is you get 5 party members in one fight. And your main character, his name is Jack, he's a support character. He's not a fighter. He makes sure that the girls or the blood maidens, that's what they call them, he protects them by making sure that they don't go crazy. But those are rules established in the game if you ever decide to play it. I won't go into depth with that. But it's a fun little game. I'm probably
the art's cute.
Yeah. It's got
watching you play.
It's got like the 2D motion. Like it's not just like it's 2D animated motion, not just 2D slapped on there and not moving. Mm-hmm. And I like that because it feels like they're breathing when they're talking to you,
right,
and stuff like that. But if you want a cheap little like fun, it's more gameplay than it is story. And that's one thing I actually really like right now because I was kind of wanting that.
Right.
Because I've been doing a lot of story intensive stuff, and that wears at you sometimes.
Oh yeah.
But I had played the Trails in the Sky the third.
Right.
And I felt like that was a good in between, like out of the whole series. Mm-hmm. But that's what I've been playing.
Yeah, that's it. That's all we got.
Oh yeah, because there's nothing. The big boys are coming soon.
Yeah, it's already started.
Because Yakuza Kiwami 2, I want to get that. Out, yeah. But
you want PC?
No, that's coming out next week. The reviews came out for now, but the 28th is when that's coming out. But It's because of the PC releases. I'm waiting out.
Right.
Hopefully that'll drop there.
No, it makes sense. You're a PC dude.
Yeah, and Dragon Quest 11.
Yeah.
Because I'm hoping to finish Mary before that comes out, but
who knows?
The pace I'm playing that game, hell no.
Me with Ys. Like I said, this is my first time playing a Ys game. I've never played any of the others, so like I kind of don't know where this journey is gonna take me, but I'm enjoying it. It's definitely not like, you could tell it's not like a AAA like title game. It's got its cheesy animations at point, but like,
that's just how it is.
Yeah, the art style is really good though.
Like, they chose gameplay over realism.
Yeah.
And you can feel it everywhere.
Yeah, I think it works so with its art style though.
Oh yeah. So. And it knows what it is. It's like, and Ys has always been that way. If you actually look at the older games, you can see that they just go like crazy. Just jump around and hit stuff.
Yeah, but that's pretty much all we've been playing since the last time we've recorded, because today is the 24th, so we recorded 2 weeks ago. So we've had some time. But what kind of happened last weekend, right?
No, it was
this week.
Yeah, it was Gamescom.
Yeah.
It's a big event over in Europe and like in general. It's like from what I've been seeing or comments I've seen, it's like the E3 version. European E3.
Yeah.
And people said it used to be really small, but now it's got so big because of all these things. So there was a few trailers and announcements that I had seen there, and NVIDIA's keynote for the new graphics cards and their brand new. They're bringing ray tracing more into the modern day, or more consumer viable.
Yeah, I was like, you were watching it, and I was sitting next to you watching it, and I was like, I have no idea what's going on.
Nah, because they have a GTX series for cards right now.
Yes.
And right now, those were the top of they were using Pascal.
Right.
Which is what they were using. I actually don't know the name of the new.
The new card.
No, because the new type. It's.
I think we have it.
No, it's RTX. I don't know if it's Titan or if it's something else, but
no, we didn't write it down. But it's okay.
No, yeah, so,
you know what we mean.
No, but so GTX was their highest line, but now with the RTX units coming out, they have this enablization of the ray tracing, which it just adds such a vast quality of lighting. But the biggest problem is I don't know if it's gonna be viable. Because it sounds great on paper, but seeing it, the benchmarks of the card in working order, that's going to be the deciding price.
Hey, that's the entire purpose of not buying day one, right?
Yeah.
Seeing what happens for all the people who do.
And the price points for those cards are way expensive. Like, we're going like 700 plus.
Yeah, I think they said the starting was like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And then it went up from there, and I went like, how can you afford that?
No, yeah. You know, and the worst part is, let's say you're someone that's like, oh, I gotta upgrade my PC consecutively. How are you gonna do that?
Yeah.
You don't live in an era where cards like that just keep coming out. You can't afford it unless you have money.
Yeah.
And, you know,
which I don't. Yeah. I do not.
You know, I love my PC, but upgrading it like that, I can't do that unless I have the money.
Yeah. No, it makes sense.
But you know,
but yeah, so they showed a couple of trailers, some stuff that we like. Pretty much rules apply the same as last time. It's not everything. It's just kind of things that we noticed that piqued our interest, and things that it's kind of things that we talked about in the last podcast that more information kind of got added on top of those since the last time we've recorded. The first thing we have on here is, what is it? Metro Exodus, yes. Confirmed date is February 22nd of 2019. So you got a couple of months for that.
Yeah.
But that's something more you're interested.
Yeah.
I'm a baby and don't want to touch it.
Yeah, no. It's funny because I had played Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light.
Mm-hmm.
They call them Redux, which is basically like the remasters of them, where they improve some things visually, but also more things mechanical.
Right.
The game itself tries to immerse you by making you feel like you're there, taking care of stuff.
Right.
So you don't have a little UAV that tells you, oh, you gotta go over there. You have like your little compass, and a little lighter, and a map.
Have fun, kid.
and for some reason or another, it doesn't feel frustrating. It feels natural to pull out your map and go, okay, I need to go that way. The compass is telling me this.
Right.
The atmospheres in those games, pretty great. It's like a very. It tries to work with dread more than it does jump scares. So it wants you to feel terrified of what's going on because of the world you're in, and just the dark. And the creatures and like the sound effects, all of that adds up to just some terrifying kind of stuff. I remember in the second game, Last Light, I got into the swamp area. Mm-hmm. And it was dark. all you could hear was the rustles of like the leaves. You're trying to get through the marsh area like waist deep in. You hear a creature with some rustles, just dark. It just gets to you. But the way Exodus looks like a major step up from the other two visually, like ridiculous step up. That's also going to be using the RTX.
Right.
It has enabled functions for it.
Yeah, pretty much like a lot of the games that they showed at Gamescom were pretty much like also just showing off the graphics card.
Yeah, the RTX enabled.
Which when we're done talking about Metro, the next game we'll talk about, I feel like its only purpose is just for that. But we'll continue with Metro for right now.
That's how it is. No, yeah, but the big things to me was that the texture quality was improved massively. Mm-hmm. Like... There was the lighting on their games have always been pretty spot on, but in this case, you could tell that they improved it massively. You could feel way more from the scenes themselves. Yeah, the mood was just as good as it was before.
Just as creepy.
Yeah. The particle effects and the additional lighting added so much to that. The rules of the world changed though. That's the thing I see a lot of people concerned about, because the game used to be more underground tunnels.
Right.
Because the when you're outside, it's inhabitable. You have to have gas masks on with filters to go outside because of a radiation fall off.
Right. I think I remember you telling me this because like one of the features from the last game was you could kill something and then you'd get blood all over your gas mask and you had to like wipe it off.
That's a general mechanic.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, let's say I'm in underground the tunnel, I can take off the mask.
Right.
I can breathe. As soon as I go into the surface, I can't take the mask off. I'm gonna suffocate and die. That's the thing. When you see anything in Exodus, it looks like you can take off your mask in broad daylight, and there's no more storm. It's just cleared like snow. Like
I mean, it could be maybe
days.
this is taking place like years after.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Yeah.
But more than anything, it means the rules of the world changed. So now there's more things gonna happen on the outside, in my opinion, than there's gonna be on the inside. But in doing so, you open up the level. Because the game's design was based off those tunnels and various areas underground. So it's very linear, like a quarter section. Here, it seems like openness.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are a little worried about that, but I don't feel too worried about it. Because they've done good by those two games already. Like,
yeah, what makes them think they're going to screw up? I mean, anything is possible, of course, but...
Yeah, and the really cool thing is the gunplay in the game looks way more weighty. Mm-hmm. So a lot of... Like, as soon as you... there's like a shotgun pistol shell.
Right.
When you fire it, you just see the smoke cloud and the bullet fly out. I was like, yo, that looks sick.
Those textures.
Nah, yeah, it's just like the particles and all that stuff. Just make the game look real good. And, you know, I want to get this day one, but it's coming out during February, which also means, you know, I'll probably still be playing.
There's so much. Yeah. You know, like, I think, honestly, like, when it hits probably, like... past September, we'll probably do like another for the podcast, like more things that are going to be coming out within the January, February time. But it's like, it's so much.
No, but that's
you
great.
know, it is. It's great for the business. It's not great for my wallet.
No, yeah, but the thing is, I'll hold out.
Yeah, you can. I'm usually not like that. I'm like, if I want it, I'll buy it.
Well, because you have the means to do so. For me, it's like I have to be selective.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'll usually wait for like a sale for older games, or I'll get games like that Mary Scott. Like,
yeah.
Thinking, oh, you know, this will be a good little time sink. Mm-hmm. But you know, I want to get this day one, but I know I can't because I have other things I want to get, like Kingdom Hearts.
Priorities.
Yeah, and I've always attuned more to RPGs as a whole because I get more out of the money.
Yeah. But yeah, the next thing that we're gonna show or talk about at least is they did show another trailer for Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Yeah. That was the game I was talking about where I feel like they're most likely using it just to show off how pretty that new card is, you know. Just to show, you know, that it's kind of like, oh wow, you love Tomb Raider, now look how pretty it is. It's like, but it's not probably gonna be that great.
I'll be honest though, the big thing is, and this is something I don't know if you thought about this, Square Enix has a habit of that.
So does Nintendo.
Not really.
No, Nintendo does this thing.
No, they show off their IPs. Square Enix shows off graphics.
No, Nintendo does this thing where it's not with graphics, but it's a similar sense. Well, they'll make something really stupid for one thing.
What do you mean? The RTX isn't something like that?
No, but like as like a way that they do that. Like it's kind of like you're saying how Nintendo does it, like to put off like really popular IPs to show off like something that you'd want to purchase.
Oh yeah, but in this case, I get what you're saying though, because when you look at that trailer, it's obviously showing off things of the RTX.
Yeah, like if I'm gonna get like the Shadow of the Tomb Raider, I'm not gonna get it for PC. I'm probably gonna get it for PS4.
Oh yeah, so those things are very meaningless.
Exactly, it's very meaningless.
But all I'm getting at is it's not something technically useless, because it's not just for that one game.
No, I'm not saying I'm just saying it's more of a cash grab, I guess, the way to put it, because it's more like, hey, you really like Tomb Raider? Now look, if you get this really nice capture card with Tomb Raider,
well, yeah,
it's gonna look really great. But like Tomb Raider's not gonna be that great.
Well, but that's straight opinions for us, right? We don't feel that way. But there's people out there that love those games.
Oh, of course there is.
And if they want to get it, they're gonna get it. But the thing is, the graphics card itself, even if they do get it, they're only gonna get benefits from the card.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, it's like the reason why they showed Tomb Raider with the capture cards is because it's Tomb Raider.
But they showed it off with so many games though.
Oh, they did, yeah.
Atomic Heart, that game looks amazing with the ray tracing stuff on it. It's actually kind of nutty.
Yeah.
But
I guess to talk about the trailer for Tomb Raider, it looks like Tomb Raider.
Oh yeah. The big difference was that it was just showing off the power of the card. They were showing off the power of that card, but there were certain scenes where when they would show off the tessellation and the HBAO, straight up, you could see some frame drops there.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, but that's because they had to push a lot to get what they wanted on the screen.
Oh, yeah.
And, it looks great because what the card basically tries to do is it tries to simulate what lighting would be in shadows inside of the world itself without it being artistically crafted. It's just like an AI saying, okay, I think this works.
Yeah.
So this is where the lighting and shadow is going to go.
Which is nice. It's things you don't have to worry about.
Yeah.
Because at least when it comes to me, I'm really bad with, like, picking particular settings for things, and I'm just kind of like, sure, if it works, it works, and then I hit the button for it.
Especially for designers, and they've been wanting to use ray tracing for a while, but it's expensive in terms of a computational thing inside of graphic cards as a whole. So now that they found a way to really bring it into a more like modern way, or I guess more of the AI, and making it just do it without really sacrificing anything.
But yeah, so Tomb Raider, we set the date for it last time, so it didn't get delayed or anything like that. Still September 14th.
Of this year?
Yeah, this year. Like you said, we're probably going to wait for a sale for that. Not going to pick it up right away. No rush. But yeah, next they showed off was Dead or Alive 6. Gave the year and the month, not a specific date though. It's March 2019.
Yeah.
So just not a confirmed date. So, don't know yet if maybe they're going to keep it in March, they're going to delay it, who knows?
No. Like, the thing with this game, I know there's a lot of negativity and positivity depending on which side of the spectrum you fall.
And boobs.
That's where I'm getting at. The thing with Dead or Alive 6, though, is like they're trying to desexualize a lot of what the fans think about it.
Except for beach volleyball.
No. It just feels like they're trying to make it like a Soul Calibur or like a... Just a fighting game that people will not think of, oh, this is for the boobs.
Yeah, I think honestly, like with like things kind of like what was the fighting game tournament that just happened recently?
Evo,
yeah.
That's like the biggest one.
Yeah, when you have things like that, and when you see, one, it's a great marketing strategy for a lot of fighting games.
Yeah, because it's the biggest one.
Yeah, because it's people who are just literally sitting there watching other people play your games and streaming it on like YouTube and Twitch and like all other stuff like that. So I can understand why some companies are kind of like changing the strategy to their fighting games, just because it's like, hey, if your game's popular enough, it could be in tournaments like these where more people will buy your game and won't have a problem buying DLCs. I mean, for Dragon Ball Fighter Z's, I think the last one that came out, the Vegeta and the Goku one, that's that's the one they're kind of like, that's it for a while.
No, Cooler's coming out.
Yeah.
And then Android 17.
Yeah. So, but like, I honestly never hear a single complaint about people having to buy like the DLC characters for them.
There are.
Are there?
It's just you have to look in that.
But it's not like a lot. Like
no.
I never see any.
Because the problem.
Whereas I feel like
unless you're part of that community, you're not gonna hear it.
Right.
It's niche. Fighting game communities are niche. But a lot of the echo chamber always comes down to, why do I have to buy another Goku?
See, but my thing is though, like, I'm not part of the fighting game
but
community, but when Street Fighter came out, that was like the biggest thing ever when they were like, you're like, here's your set characters. Okay, now you're literally gonna have to pay for like almost every single character.
Capcom and Street Fighter, that's an exception to the rule because Street Fighter is the biggest fighting game in the market. In terms of look, right? In terms of what people perceive. They're like, oh, it's Street Fighter. I gotta go watch. Like, even now, when you watch streams, a lot of people watch Street Fighter.
Right.
They just watch it. Because it's Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Like, it just has the brand name connected to it. So, of course, a lot of the backlash, a lot of casual players play that more than anything.
Right.
No one plays an anime fighter. Like,
I don't know. Like, Dragon Ball...
Dragon Ball is a rare occasion because it has a brand behind it.
Yeah. I can understand Blaze Blue.
And games like that, like, while they may be fun for me, not... People playing Street Fighter are not going to be playing that game.
Like, it was the same thing, too, for the Cross Tag game, where it was the Blaze Blue, the Persona, and the Ruby, and that other game crossover.
It's not nowhere near as big as the other two.
No, but, like, even, like, someone like me, who was thinking about getting the game, just didn't buy it because of the fact that it was just, like, half of your roster is locked for you paying an extra, like, $20.
But that's because you were looking into that game, right?
Yeah.
But if you're someone who doesn't care about looking into games, and you know by brand names, and you're thinking, oh, Street Fighter 5...
Yeah.
Because everyone knows Street Fighter. No one knows about those other games, like in casual.
I just think the thing is, at least with Dragon Ball, it's very, like, I think it's the love for the characters.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes people aren't very, like, they're okay, because they're like, oh, we really like this character, I don't mind buying it.
If it's a completely different character, yes. But when it comes down to saying, oh, here's another Goku.
Here's another Goku and Vegeta.
People get kind of angry.
Just a little bit. That's why, honestly, like, when I heard that was, like, the another DLC, it was, like, literally, like, Season 1 Dragon Ball Z Goku and Vegeta, I was like, why? I was like, you have, like, 3.
No, yeah. The thing is, though, like, they're great additions because they do things very differently from the others. But that's... The key problems I think they're having is just... They reuse assets to a degree. So people don't like that. Cooler looks cool. I can't wait to see what he does. Because he's a big body. So he's either going to dunk you or he's just going to beat you up.
Dunk me.
But I don't know. Like, there is negativity to anything DLC related. Let's be honest. Like, fighting games as a whole has been doing that for a while now. And no one likes it. No one does. But
I mean,
because go back to PS2 era, you could fight to unlock all your fighters.
Yeah.
Now you have to pay for every single one.
Yeah. I mean, that's even the same with Smash Brothers nowadays. Remember Melee? It had all those characters and you could get them for
you could
free,
just get them by playing the game. Because you know what that was? Single player content.
Yeah.
But now fighting games don't want that. They want you to pay for everything.
Yeah. Well, because it's also that thing where it's like after 6 months you're not really making profit off that game anymore.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, now at that point you're getting greedy. And it's just what companies are doing now. Because profit's the end goal. That's what a business is.
It's sad. It's sad we also live in an era where you can... A game will come out day one, and not anymore can you just get that game 100% done nowadays.
It all depends on the developer.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. Like, an example of a game that's pretty much 100% done that came out December. It was Xenoblade 2.
Yeah.
That game was done.
I think they only had just the patch for that one voice line and
the game was done. You could tell that obviously they lost a bunch of employees because they got forced to work on Breath of the Wild. They lost like 40 employees, but they still managed to make a solid full game. But
it's such a rarity nowadays, and it's so sad.
That's what I'm saying. It's based on your developer. Then look at Dragon Quest XI. That's another the director straight up said, I wanted this game to make you think about games in the past. Complete full games. It's all dependent on developers. Because developers can think, oh, should I think about money right now or should I think about what I want this to be? Because that's the big thing, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
publishers
I agree with
pay,
you. It does vary on the company who's doing the game.
But I'm not trying to say that developers are like the end decision makers because publishers tend to do that.
Yeah.
They're like, no, you're gonna do this, or
I'm giving you my money,
or you're not gonna get your paycheck.
Yeah.
It's just how it is.
But yeah, Dead or Alive 6. It's another Dead or Alive fighting game.
Oh no, yeah. I didn't even try talking about this. But a lot of the things I saw in that trailer. There was a lot of weight in the hits animations. The background destruction is really good. When you hit someone on a corner, you just get so much power out of that hit. It's fast. It looks very frantic. It has a lot of good camera usage from what I was looking at.
Yeah. And
it feels akin to Tekken in terms of the destruction, but other than that, it's looking pretty solid. But graphically, it doesn't feel like a major step up from 4 and 5. I mean, and it looks like it could be a lot of fun. I hope it doesn't get lost in obscurity, because Dead or Alive is one of those few series where people want it to do good, but no one buys it.
Yeah, it's definitely like, you know how like there are fighting games that have like a niche audience. I definitely think Dead or Alive has a very niche audience.
No, it's a different audience.
Yeah, it's a very No,
listen. If you're into swimsuits, you're into beautiful anime girls, they're there. And I believe 4 or 5 had some of the 200 pieces of DLC related to just dressing them up. So if you were into that,
here we are complaining about DLC characters, but in Dead or Alive 4 or 5, you could just buy literally alternate costumes for the girls.
Hey, you know what I say? Sex sells and everything.
Sex does sell.
And it's just how it is.
Yeah.
It's nothing you can fight. It's just a reality.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for Dead or Alive, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I just saw the trailer and I saw it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm sure more to come later. Like I said, no date yet, so I'm sure they probably will have another trailer coming out with a release date.
Yeah, they just have an estimation.
Yeah,
March 2019.
I can't imagine they're not.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, next that they showed was Man of Medan. Maiden, yeah. I'm really excited about this game. It has no date. It's just it's coming out 2019. It just doesn't have literally a day, month, or whatever that it's coming out. But it's made by the same people who made Until Dawn.
Super massive games.
Really liked that game. Really liked Until Dawn.
Yeah, it was a sleeper hit for everyone.
Yeah, I remember working at my last part-time job and maybe 10 pre-orders of it working there, and then within a couple of days of it being out, everybody just asking, where is this game, I want to get it, and it's just us having no copies of it and just being like, I can give you a DLC code, how's that?
Like I won't throw any hate anywhere, but I feel like they're moving in the correct direction in terms of story-driven games where they're pushing graphical boundaries with it.
Yeah.
And I really compare it to Telltale's engine and a lot of stagnation they had. And I just hope, because it seems like Until Dawn's developers understands what choice means.
Yeah, which
because
is
when
nice.
You make a choice,
it means something, and you can't undo it.
A lot of Telltale's narrative focusing does not have that. It's a funnel. It always leads somewhere specifically.
Where your choice doesn't really matter, because literally 5 minutes later, it's just a
negated.
big middle finger to your face.
But going back to them, it's an anthology.
Yeah, I don't... if you don't mind, another thing going back to the graphics is when I was looking at the stuff for this game, you could definitely tell there have been some improvements from looking at Until Dawn to this game.
But I was gonna bring that up, but the thing is, the reason I think it looked better is because now they're running it on a PC.
Yeah. Because before it was only PlayStation exclusive. Yeah.
So this is the first time they're going cross-platform. Yeah. And I was watching the trailer of them speaking about it. They're actually very excited to bring it to Xbox themselves.
Yeah.
So I'm happy it's coming out on Steam, because I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna play this, and it's graphically a monster, I'm gonna use the hardware to make it a graphical monster.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like, considering the fact that it's coming to Xbox. It's also like another thing is just where we live in a time now where exclusive is a very loose term now.
No, Until Dawn was, right?
Yes, Until Dawn was. Then they had the Blood Rush, which was the PlayStation VR game. Then they had a third game that I can't remember at all what it was called, but I believe it was also PlayStation exclusive also.
Yeah. It's not even like loose. If this game, every game by game standard is the choice of exclusivity for money, or just saying, you know what, let's put it everywhere.
But it's just like the thing too. I feel like a lot of things nowadays are more time exclusive than they are actual. I mean, don't get me wrong. You still have exclusive games, like Halo will always be an exclusive to Xbox, Gears of War will always be an exclusive, most, like 100% of the time Naughty Dog is always exclusive to PlayStation.
I get what you're saying, but the only instance I've seen it in this current time was Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
I haven't seen another game do that in this time frame, so I don't know.
Oh, Crash Bandicoot.
It wasn't really an exclusive. They announced it on PS4. They never said exclusive. They said
but it wasn't until months and months later.
Yeah, but they never said, exclusively to PS4. I never saw it in their marketing material. Obviously,
we'll have to look it up.
No, yeah, but if they had shown it, they obviously they're gonna show it there because that's where they had it first, right?
Right, which is the whole reason why. Spyro is not coming out straight away for PS4. It's literally, I think, coming out for PS4 and Xbox One same day. I don't know about Switch and PC though.
No, those will probably come out later.
Yeah. I can see Switch coming out later just because it's literally different than all the other consoles. And PC, I'm sure it'll come out for PC.
Yeah. Because, like, the thing is with this one, I'm glad they're making this one cross-platform. And I was saying before, it's an anthology. So it means more of these are coming, like, little story. Because an anthology is basically, like, little short stories or poems that are, like, different, but they're part of this cohesive whole. And an anthology, in this case, Man of Maiden is the first one. They said they're trying to get 2 out every year. So they're going to have these little, like, different subsections of horror genre. So think of like American Horror Story, where like it's all one season, like one show as a name, but every season's a different story.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing here, and I think that's pretty cool.
Really interesting, but I'm also a little worried about it. Like we were talking about, it kind of reminded me of like a Ubisoft, where Ubisoft tried to get like 1 or 2 of the same game out like every year. But I'm assuming these are probably going to be like not that long games.
No, I doubt it.
I think they're probably going to be like maybe 10, 15 hours.
Not even. I consider probably 7 or 8 hours. That's all I'm giving that. But the thing is, they specifically planned for the 2 different games. So they're like, they have teams working on each one. Yeah,
I mean, if they plan everything out accordingly. Like I said, I don't... From what I've played from them, I've never had a problem with their games.
Well, we only played one.
Well, I've seen the third one. The Insane Asylum one they played. I can't remember what the name is off the top of my head.
You watched it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
And then they made the Blood Rush, which was the VR game. Okay. But that's like, it's just like a silly VR game.
It's a shooter.
Yeah, it's like a horror shooter VR thing. But yeah, no, like it's considering that nowadays games are very complicated in a sense to make. Like it's not like literally if you think about like the original Crash Bandicoot trilogies, it literally took them a year to make like one for every year for them. So it was like one, you had Crash Bandicoot 1, then a year later the second one came out, and then a year later the third one came out. Like you can't do that really anymore unless you're making like
Digimon.
Digimon is a masterpiece, my friend.
The amount of reused assets in those 2 games, you can't even.
Digimon is great. Everybody should play it. Relive your childhood. You don't know what you're missing. Play Cyber Sleuth.
She's a fanboy. Don't listen to her.
Play Digimon. But it's just, we live in a world where it's hard to trust developers, I feel like, nowadays. And
I have nothing against developers. I have everything against publishers.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean.
No, yeah. That's the difference. Like, unless the developer themselves is known to be toxic by nature or against the fans as a whole. Because all they're doing is trying to make what they love, right?
Of course.
So, the problems I see most of the time is towards fighting with a publisher.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I think it goes back to my thing where I'm always, like, nervous of buying, which is, me, I'm always nervous about buying new games that I don't know much about.
Just don't buy them, get them on sales. That way you're never nervous.
Even on sales, I'll be like, did I just waste $5 buying this game?
No.
But I'm probably gonna get it whenever it comes out, just because I got Until Dawn.
I never get those type of games day one though. That's just me.
Just because it's, I mean, yeah.
No, because $60 to me is a big thing.
Well, you don't know if it's gonna be $60.
I doubt it wouldn't be. It'd probably shoot around 40 to 60.
Yeah, if it's 40, that's not that bad though.
No, yeah, but I still wouldn't. It's just who I am.
Yeah. But yeah, probably gonna pick it up. No date. But yeah. Next, they showed a lot for Life is Strange 2. Like we said last time, September 27th for episode 1 will be coming out. So they showed a trailer, and then they showed 20 minutes of gameplay. I think in the video where the 20 minutes of gameplay, they didn't show everything, and they skipped around for some things, which I'm okay with if they don't want to show everything, because that'll just make my experience playing a lot better. I guess because I really want to talk about it. So if you don't want to hear about what happened in the 20-minute gameplay, I guess just skip. I'll put a timestamp on the video.
Spoilers.
Yeah, so spoilers. So we watched it. When we watched the first trailer, you came up with a theory that is most likely correct from this series, where you didn't think it was the kid from Captain Spirit. What's his name? Chris? Yeah. You didn't think he was the one with the powers, and you thought it was who these new protagonists were. It's Sean and Daniel.
Yeah.
And from watching the 20-minute gameplay, you sound like you're right, because Daniel, some stuff happened, man.
Because they make Chris out to be very important, very, like, he's the focus.
Yeah.
And I had a feeling by the end of it, even though his power was, like, his mind was, like, imaginative and very creative by nature, when he fell off and like, floated in the air, and then he looked to see to his side, and he saw the brother, and the older brother and the younger brother.
Yeah, Sean and Daniel.
I don't know who's the older.
Daniel's the younger brother, and Sean is the older brother.
Okay. He saw Daniel and Sean, and that, to me, at that specific time, had to mean Daniel or Sean, I'm assuming Daniel more likely, saw him falling and stopped him from falling.
Yeah, because when Chris kind of, like, gets himself up, Daniel's already standing there and Sean is walking into frame.
Yeah.
The other reason why I kind of have this feeling that it is Daniel, besides, like, from what we've seen from the 20-minute trailer, is when the whole incident with the cop happens, Daniel screams, and that's when everything goes flying across.
Yeah.
So
Chronicles, baby.
It would make the most sense that it'd be Chris. But the other thing that, like, when I was, like, really looking at the videos for everything was we kind of, like, came to this conclusion where right now you're starting it's like the night or like a couple days before Halloween, but in Captain Spirit it's already wintertime. There's snow everywhere.
Yeah.
So it looks like this game is going to be, like, traveling across between month to month. It might be like, maybe, like, the first month you'll be in October, and then later you'll go to November and December where it gets colder out, and that's when you'll meet Chris. You know, which I think it lines up with that little, like, with the Captain Spirit episode, just because when I went to go look back at the Captain Spirit, you're in a completely different area than you are in for that 20-minute demo that they showed off. Like, the neighbor houses are completely different, the yards are different, the houses are different, so there's no way you guys are neighbors.
Yeah.
If it's especially after that incident. My only conclusion, it could have been, like, maybe that was, like, a long time ago and they moved, or maybe it was, like, a year ago, you know? But, you know, Chris brings up his friends in the game and doesn't talk about Daniel at all.
Yeah.
So
no, because to me it seems like, because in that specific trailer that they showed Daniel and Sean, he was so vague and consecutively saying, I have no idea where we are. I have no idea where we are. I can't tell him yet. I have no idea where we are.
Yeah.
And that really makes me think that they got transported by this power, or he's just going somewhere and he just doesn't know. And I think it's going to lead to them meeting Chris.
Yeah.
And dealing with his situation, and Chris being either the Chloe of this story or just integral to Daniel and his power.
Yeah.
And either or, I have no idea where it'll go to.
Like, I think he means by, like, I can't tell him, because at the end of that demo, Daniel was knocked out, so I don't think he realized, like, what he had did, or, like,
to the officer.
Yeah, to the officer, to the neighbor,
Yeah.
you know, or maybe, like, the fact that the dad died, you know? I think that's what it means, but it could still possibly mean, like, I don't know where we are, or it could have been at one point they just have been walking and they really just don't know where they are.
That's what I'm saying. Whichever one. But that's why last time I had stated it feels very much like Chronicles, in terms of, like, what they're trying to go with, with, like, getting this power, not knowing what to do with it, maybe not even having control with it.
Yeah.
It could be that when he has a sudden surge of emotions, it comes out.
Yeah, it could have been at that point when he saw Chris fall. He maybe at that point he could have learned to control some of his powers.
Yeah. It seems like maybe over time he got used to it.
But because considering that at that point it's winter time, so some time had passed.
Maybe his ability isn't to rewind time, but stop time in certain areas.
Yeah.
Or his power just is straight up, I can hold and control things. But because I feel like either he has that means of just controlling things because he threw things externally.
Yeah.
When he got angry. But we have no idea.
The other thing we had was so many people are salty about this new Life is Strange,
Not
and I
salty?
can't not salty, but more like, why aren't you talking about Max and Chloe? Why isn't this about Max and Chloe? Why are you making a sequel if it's not about them? Like, their story's over. There's nothing left. Yeah, well, no, they're making a sequel comic. Somebody's making.
No. Before the Storm.
Oh yes, the Before the Storm.
Let's not forget about that game.
I mean, I tried to.
No, but it is a prequel that already gives you more of Chloe, right? Right. And as you stating, they're making a comic as a sequel in terms of like their story.
Yeah, which it's super cheap. It's like $6 off Amazon. So when it comes out.
But it seems to be a lot of people in the fan base, from what I saw on Twitter, seem to be disappointed when they haven't seen much of this game. Yeah. And they're not even giving the developers the benefit of the doubt after creating the first one.
At that point, when we were like looking at all the comments for it, just the one trailer was out, like not the 20-minute gameplay trailer, and it was like maybe like a 30-second trailer for it. Yeah. So, but no, like the thing is, it's like that's nothing new. It's nothing new that it wasn't going to be about Max and Chloe. Like, why would it be?
No, yeah, it was funny because someone stated like, "Where's Max and Chloe?" And then someone's like, they had stated numerous times that they were not going to make a game about Max and Chloe. Yeah. And then they were like, "Oh." It seems to me that a lot of
read an article, sir.
You know what I kind of realized? I think many casual players are actually a fan of this game.
And you don't need to play. You don't have to be like a hardcore player to play this game.
In the sense, like, they don't even look into the news, right? Yeah. So they don't understand the difference between them, Yeah. They didn't know that they weren't going to be playable here. Yeah. But most from what I see, just disappointment because they feel like
I can see the casual players because it's on iPhone and Android. Yeah. Like you could buy it off there.
But but that was way later. Like it was recent that came out.
Yeah, no.
But what I'm getting at is more. I just noticed that a lot more people seem disappointed and uninformed. Yeah. These are two things I saw and I was like, what the heck?
Please, people, it's okay. Yeah. They're not going to do us wrong.
And this, like, I even wrote a Twitter comment saying, like, really, guys? Come on. They made Life is Strange 1. You won't even give them the benefit of the doubt to tell another story they think is equal or better than the first one.
I mean, from the 20-minute gameplay that they showed us, it looks really good.
It looks good. I'm very finicky on that officer scene. That, I'll be honest with you, that was very finicky. I was not convinced by that one at all.
I mean, like, the reason why I kind of kind of explained to you like why I know the reason why they did it, which is because of like a lot of things that are happening in the news nowadays. No. It's kind of like
I get exactly why they did that, but the execution was bad.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that great.
That's what I'm getting at. Yeah. I'm not convinced by.
Good to know they're still keeping their cheesiness. Yeah.
No, but graphically it looks like a good step up. Yeah.
It looks really good.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where they go with it because I wait for every episode before I even play those games. I don't like playing them one episode at a time.
Yeah, I'm different. I'll play one episode at a time because I'm an impatient bitch.
Masochist.
Yeah, but that's about for Life is Strange. A lot of stuff on it, which makes me really happy considering we're almost a month away. Yeah. So, yep. Next thing that they showed was, what is this? Damon and Machina?
Damon Machina. Anytime you see X, you just ignore it usually.
No date. Is going to be a Switch exclusive. I'm assuming this is something that you are really interested in.
No, I bring this one up because, one, it's a Switch exclusive, right? The things that brought this to my attention, it has a great energy from the trailers because it has a lot of rock music, a lot of energy with the guitar and the drums, and it's in contrast to what you think. It's a very colorful game. If you see it in action, it is very colorful. Mm-hmm. The big thing that a lot of people are getting from this game is how it looks and feels and everything about it. But the big thing is that the Armored Core designer is Shoji Kawamori, and he was the Armored Core mech designer. And in this one, they have the artist. His name is Yusuke Kozaki. He worked on No More Heroes, Fire Emblem Awakening, and Fates. A lot, games that some people like. People love that artwork in this modern
age. I mean, Kron, my boy, love him.
But because of Shoji being in this project, it has brought a lot of eyes to it. Because when you look at the mech designs, they are very, very much reminiscent of the Armored Core design. And he's the game designer.
Okay.
So you can tell it's going to be a good game because he's good at making mech games. Right. Single player, I guess. But I feel like if you check it out and just to see it, you'll see what I mean. But I'm not expecting you to like that type of stuff.
I think I said it. No date though. So.
Yeah, no. They also have a habit of dropping like their freaking title for no reason and out of pacing.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. But yeah, I mean, this looks like something was more you were into. I haven't really heard too much about it.
No, I only bring it up because it's a Switch exclusive.
Right.
And it is a game that looks very different from their lineup. And if you're interested in mechs and you're interested in, like, fast, frantic, just things in general, I'd recommend just checking it out if you haven't heard about it.
Right. But yeah, next thing was pretty much the last thing that we have for tonight. Devil May Cry 5, coming out March 8th, 2019. That looked really good, Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah, I sent you the gameplay demo, then I sent you a trailer that we watched way later.
Yeah.
But I knew from that demo you'd be sold.
It looked really good.
Yeah.
I've never played any of the Devil May Cry games before. I've just kind of like heard things about it and just kind of gone off what people were talking about it and just never had. And then the whole thing with like the reboot game came out and I heard never to play that. And
it's only funny to me because the game always seemed to have something you liked. The series as a whole. You like white-haired characters and boys.
I do.
That's Dante. You like sassy boys.
I do.
That's Dante. You like nice sword combat, melee. That's Devil May Cry. You like rock music. That's Devil May Cry. So I've never understood how you never played those growing up.
I don't know. They were PS2 games, right?
Yeah, no, like the first game brought in the attitude. The second game tried to make it serious. Did not work. People do not like that one.
Yeah.
Devil May Cry 3, people like that one. Devil May Cry 4, people like that one as well. The reboot, people didn't like it because of how they made Dante. But the thing is, the game itself isn't bad. It's just the characterization of the world.
Like, pretty much if they kind of just, like...
If you take out all the characters...
Take out the title of Devil May Cry and not attach anything to it. It's a good game.
Yeah,
but the fact that it is what stops people.
The thing is, it simplified a lot of the mechanics of Devil May Cry 2, so people didn't like that either. Mm-hmm. So, I played through a good chunk of it. I was okay with it, but I could understand why a lot of complaints were made about it.
Right.
It just has the problem of having Devil May Cry's name on it.
Right.
And I understand.
Yeah.
So, like in 4, they introduced a character named Nero. Mm-hmm. And in Devil May Cry 5, since they switched engines, because they used to be more anime looking, not realism, stuff like that. More of art style. And because of the engine swap they're using the Resident Evil 7 engine here. They've been using this and it's funny because the original Devil May Cry came from the Resident Evil 4 engine that was made, the original concept of that game. Then they realized it wouldn't work, and then they made it into Devil May Cry, and then they made Resident Evil 4 with changing it. But
good to know they're using the buddy system on that one.
Yeah, and it's funny now considering Resident Evil 7's engine is being used for Devil May Cry 5. So
what goes around comes around, right? Might as well. We did it once, why not do it again?
Yeah, and the cool thing is, a lot of the presentation of that game is very good. Particle effects on attacks look amazing. Mm-hmm. The weight of everything looks amazing. The scale of the boss fights look just great. Because it looks like there's a bunch of verticality.
Right.
You got these massive behemoth things you're fighting. And all these things going on at the same time. They have like dynamic music where like, the better you're doing like with your ranking.
We were talking about this last night.
Yeah, the better you're doing in terms of your grade. Your grade is based off your hits, non-repetition, style, stuff like that. The better the music gets. And the reason she brought that up was because there was a news article stating look how great Devil May Cry 5 is. And then the first sentence was, a lack of music made the game very not bombastic as I thought it'd be. And that right there was just saying, you got an F, buddy.
You suck. You did bad.
Yeah, just everything about it looks good. The combat system looks like it's going to be great. All these options it looks like they're giving you now.
I really like Johnny Young Bosch's voice. Yeah, as Nero. I really like it. I think he sounds really good.
Yeah.
Like when you look at that character, like the sassiness he puts in, I think it's great.
No, yeah. It's funny considering Nero in 4 wasn't like that. He was like in the middle,
right?
But he wasn't a sass master.
Dante took over showed him the ways of the sass.
That's because Dante at that point in the series, he just doesn't care because like if you play them, you'll understand.
Right.
But he just that's why he's such a sass master because he has nothing to be afraid of.
Right.
Like literally.
They showed off the Dante with the motorcycle blades also.
Yeah, that was funny. Like, you weren't expecting it.
No.
They're like, haha, you thought it was going to be something else.
Yeah, no. Just the fact you're like, oh, cool, they gave Dante a motorcycle. Now it is also his weapon.
What impresses me, though, is that it is motion captured.
That's crazy.
And they managed to find a way to blend it with, like, animation cancels and stuff like that. I think that's the crazy part. Because when you get to that point where you can make it flow and it still looks photorealistic, that's pretty good.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Like, the other thing is, like, debris effects look great. So, like, if something breaks, 1,000 pieces go flying. And it just feels good.
I think just looking at this trailer, it, like, started at, like, a good, like, at the bottom, like, of excitement. You're like, oh, wow, that's really good. It was like, oh, my God, that's really cool, too. Oh, my God, there's so much. I love this.
Then
like, that's just how it went, that trailer.
And the cool part is, at some point, he jumps onto a missile, and he starts acting like it's a skateboard.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, he's got a skateboard rocket.
Yeah, and he just doesn't care.
It was just really cool. It was just like the fact that you're getting like me who's never played Devil May Cry and I'm looking at this trailer and I'm like, I need to play this.
Yeah, honestly, if you're interested, I do recommend playing the collection.
Yeah, it's on PS3, right?
No, the collection just got released on
PS4.
Yeah.
I know they had it for
PS3.
I know they had it for PS3. I didn't know they brought it back over to PS4.
No, they used to be individuals. This is like a remaster. Like more modern. It's not gonna look great.
No.
But at least it looks updated, right?
Yeah.
Because I want to get it too. Because I remember playing 4 back on the 360. And I was in the middle with that game.
Bless you.
Excuse me. And I don't know. I couldn't finish it for some reason, and I think it was just my age.
Right.
But looking at 5, I was like, I gotta play the other ones.
Yeah, you might as well. I mean, I'm usually that type of person too. Like
that's why you got Shamu.
Yeah, I mean, even though it's kind of like you don't have to play the others, I'll still usually go back and play from the beginning.
I'll only do it if it's a continuity in story. Like if it's a game,
usually not like that.
if it's a game like Use 8 where I don't have to play the other ones and it's a standalone, I'm just gonna buy it.
Yeah, like that's what I tried doing when I first started playing Persona.
Yeah.
I bought Persona 1 for PSP. I couldn't stand it. Then tried playing 3 for PSP. I hated the fighting mechanics in 3, and then just decided to start with 4 on PS2, and I really liked 4, and then went play 5. So yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much about it. That's kind of most of what we saw at Gamescom that we really were interested in. Adding more things to what we're most likely picking up.
Oh, and I forgot to mention it. Today they had shown, because right now I'm a Xenoblade fan, right? They just showed the new trailer for Xenoblade.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Torna, the Golden Country or Golden State, but it's an additional 30 to 40 hour story DLC. So to me, that's like, oh, it's DLC by name, but it's honestly a prequel game. They're selling you a prequel game. That's how big that game is.
God bless that company, seriously.
Monolith?
They know how to treat you good.
They do. All right?
They're like, we got you, fam.
Like, I'm honest. Like, if you're looking for an RPG on your Switch, like a big boy, Xenoblade 2 will have you in spades. Like, I had 120 hours with that base game. With that, I'm looking 200.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. Because when I beat that game, I was like, I want more. Yeah. But I only bring that up because I saw that today. But that is it.
As of today. What is today? The 24th, right?
Yeah.
The 24th, yes. But yeah, so yeah, like we said, pretty much that what we saw at Gamescom is what we liked. Added more things. What we're probably going to pick up. Saw more trailers. You know, definitely going broke within the year of 2019.
You are.
I am. Jeffrey will be good and he'll wait. But yeah, let us know. Let us know what you liked at Gamescom. Let us know if we missed out on anything that we probably should be picking up. Just let us know.
Yeah, write a comment. We'll discuss with you.
Yeah.
It's totally open to any discussion.
Probably talk about it next week.
Oh, yeah. If we leave a comment, you got any questions in general, we'll answer them on the podcast. No problem.
No worries. This is Kathleen.
And this is Jeffrey.
And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Have a good one.